What's up Top 10 fam? Hope you're having an awesome day. I'm your host Ayman Hassan and welcome back to another video. It is Christmas time you guys, and that means Christmas movies, and that means The Grinch Who Stole Christmas. Now before we get into it, just a reminder about our third contest. The prize is a Nintendo Switch. All you have to do is follow Landon Productions on Instagram, like his post about the contest, but without further ado, these are the top 10 scary The Grinch theories. Starting us off at number 10 is mass genocide. Love how we're starting it off with that. So this one links The Grinch with Horton Hears a Who, which is one of my favorite movies of all time. It's just so cute and adorable. In it, Horton the elephant hears a yelp from a dust speck and discovers a civilization of Who's in a little place called Whoville. And as we know, the people in The Grinch are also called Who's and they live in Whoville too. Connection number 1 established. So in Horton Hears a Who, Horton tries to convince other animals of the Who's existence, but they just think he's crazy. The mayor kangaroo is about to throw the speck into boiling water, killing them all, but the Who's end up making enough noise to be heard and saved. Woohoo! The Who saved the day. Either way, so if we go back to The Grinch, we know the Who's there are noisy all year round, not just around Christmas time, and that's because they don't want to be destroyed or annihilated, so they're loud as hell just because they want to live. So as they get louder around Christmas time because they're happier, the Grinch loses his shit and wants to destroy Christmas for them. And although he succeeds, the Who's still gather together to sing, not because they're happy, they're miserable, they just don't want to die. So the Grinch isn't just trying to break their spirit, he's a genocidal maniac. Who would have thought? Coming in at number 9 is cannibalism. So towards the end of the book, when the Christmas spirit of the Who's win over the Grinch and his heart grows, he volunteers to carve the roast beast himself. But we never actually find out what the roast beast actually is. I mean, it's safe to assume that both the Who's and the Grinch are mammals, and the roast beast looks like one as well. The shape of the beast really isn't that different from the shape of the Who's or the Grinch himself, so this theory from Twitter user Everywhere is T claims Who's and the Grinch are in fact cannibals, and the roast beast is actually one of their own. Again, who would have thought? At number 8 we have hard of hearing. So this theory riffs off the genocide theory slightly and claims that the Who's are all hard of hearing due to how loud they always have to be. They're literally always so loud, always playing their instruments at like just the highest volume possible just to avoid extinction, but that obviously comes at a cost. They damage their hearing big time. That's why the Grinch was able to go from house to house and steal all the presents and not be caught by anyone other than Cindy Lou. And the only reason she heard him is because she's too young, so the hearing damage hasn't fully taken her hearing yet. Again, very dark. Again, who would have thought? Who would have thought? Filling our number 7 slot is Bestiality. Now I feel like this one is pretty obvious, so someone just has to say it, so I'll be that person. The scene where the Grinch is in the mayor's house with Max and he literally pretends to be Martha and gets the mayor to kiss and lick Max's bumhole. Again, the only host that continues saying bumhole on top 10. Woohoo, that's my brand. Like he's just laughing about it and thinking it's all shits and gigs, even though Max is bloody traumatized and will most likely need years of dog therapy to get over this traumatic event, and the Grinch is like ha ha ha. He just continues doing it unapologetically, and so the Grinch Who Stole Christmas doesn't encourage or advocate bestiality, it just makes it look fun, which is also not good. We don't advocate that. Do not trust this green monster. Now at number 6 is who, what, when, where, and why. And now I'm like, but where's the how in that list? This theory comes from an anonymous person who noticed we've met the Who's various times. We're guessing the Grinch is a what, his dog is a when, but what on earth happened to where and why? Now the Who's know about where, so at least they know about them and their existence, but I doubt we'll ever see the wheres or hear from them, but that still leaves the floor open for why. This theory suggests that why may actually be the creator of all of this. Why is a godlike figure that spoke into existence this whole universe. Why are we here? Because of why. I kid you not, it's a proper theory I found on Reddit, I'm not making this up. Coming in at number 5 is The Purge. Now I feel like any movie, book, or show can somehow be linked to The Purge in one way or another, and I think that's hilarious. The universality and versatility of The Purge is actually a joke. This is a short and sweet theory, and it sort of links with the genocidal maniac theory, because when we see the Grinch entering Whoville in his brown cloak, he's wearing this creepy mask. Like, he straight up looks like he's ready for the Who Purge. That he's gonna be the head honcho of rich people ready to shoot the poor people, except the poor are the Who's, and their crime isn't poverty, it's liking Christmas. So did the Purge really start in a Dr. Seuss book? Who knows? I don't. At number 4 is a What Part 1. Now this theory comes from Reddit user Prince McElrath, who reminds us that in the movie Cindy asks her dad about the Grinch and he says he's more of a what than a who. Now flashback to the beginning of the movie to the scene where it explains that all babies descend from the sky in little baskets with umbrellas attached. Newsflash for all the under 13 users, that is not where babies come from. Ha ha ha. Here to corrupt your innocence, 2K19. Anyway, the Grinch's basket is all tattered and hole-filled and gross, and everyone just assumes that that's why he's grumpy his whole life. But what if all that was wrong? Now it's clear that the Grinch and the Who's are not the same species, but what if the Grinch was in fact part of a race called the Whats from the other side of their world? What if his basket got blown off course and landed in the Who world, and that's how he ended up with these old ladies? So the Who is a what? Filling our number 3 slot is a What Part 2. Now continuing on from that theory, why is literally everyone afraid of the Grinch? Now we see him go to school with all the adults in town, so clearly they know him, so why are they making him out to be this elusively scary monster? So this theory from the same redditor as before suggests it's not the Grinch the Who's are afraid of, it's the mayor. He must come from some sort of special family since he has a sidekick at like age 8, so what if his family just had a horrible ancient prejudice against the What? Not only that, but he's mad that the Grinch was able to thrive by himself, so he created all this propaganda against the Grinch in town so everyone would hate him and never accept him. Now at number 2 is the Who. So now that we've established that the Grinch is a what that got blown off course, we have to address the elephant in the room, and no, I'm not talking about Horton, and yes, I really did laugh when I was writing that joke out because god am I funny. Now this theory comes from Reddit user Rabid Flamingo, who said at the start of the movie they flash back to the Grinch's basket being blown in the wrong direction, which I mentioned before, but it also knocks some Who mum's baby's basket out of the way as well. So could it be that when the Grinch hit this other basket, this little Who got blown towards Wattsville and is now in the land of Watts, treated like an utter monster because of how much it loves Christmas within a species that hates it? See, like the Grinch is getting discriminated in Whoville, this little Who is getting discriminated in Wattsville. No one's having a good time. No one. The wind screwed everybody over that day. And finally, at number 1 is the religion. So this one was shared by Reddit user MLJ, who shared that the theory of the Grinch being a what, not a who, is great and all, but it still doesn't address why he hates Christmas. We know he gets bullied after he gives Martha May the angel, but even before the classroom party, he still shows a lot of animosity towards Santa and Christmas. So M suggests that perhaps the Whats are a different religion to the Who's, or they have some other entity or person that takes Santa Claus's place. He literally never says he doesn't believe in Santa Claus, he just says he doesn't like him. Maybe Santa even wronged the Whats at some point that would make his hatred pretty valid. So he isn't just a hateful creep, he was wronged. It's personal. And that's it for today's video, guys. I feel like I should re-watch the movie just because it's December time, and when else is the best time to watch this movie, you know what I mean? Let me know which movies you plan on watching during this month below, and as always, I'm your host Eamon Hassan, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!